Well, I'm here at another beautiful rainy day in Jerusalem. You saw how crowded that place was at the Orthodox Pascha and Easter 2 days ago. And I wanted to see what's happening now in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Welcome to another day without tourists. Most of the people who've been here were all local Israelis, all local Palestinians, all few tourists, I must say. I met a family from Romania. Then in that matter, let's see what's happening now in the church. You can see that they're folding the cover that used to be here at Holy Fire. Then the church that you see here, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, or the Church of the Resurrection, which is the Greek Orthodox, or the Orthodox name of it, which I prefer, because the story is about the empty tomb of Jesus. The story is about the resurrection of Jesus, and this is the most important part of it. What you can see here is the beautiful yard and the facade of the church from the end of the 11th century, the beginning of 12th century. Beautiful facade, but the church of today is less than half than the church that used to be at the 4th century when Saint Helen and Constantine built it. Let's enter the church, but not before you will see the ladder. Let me show it to you. Yes, now you can see the ladder. The story of the ladder is actually the story of the problems of the church. The church belongs to everyone. Catholic, Orthodox churches, and Armenian church. Then in that case, in the past, there were so many intrigues, so many problems within the domination themselves. One thing is the ladder. The two windows belongs to the second Golgotha, the Armenian chapel. The Armenian wanted to clean the windows, and they took from the outside, they took the ladder and started to clean it. Immediately later, the Greek Orthodox came to them and say, "Who told you that the facade of the church belongs to you?" The facade of the church belongs to everyone, they said, until they figure out what's going on. It will be so difficult to maintain the facade, and the ladder will be there. If we are talking about another ladder, you're gonna see it soon. But I'm dedicated that video to the cross, the Latin cross. Oh, it's pouring of EJ and Betty. If you want to have your own cross or your own Bible, enter to the description of that video, look for the Buy Me a Coffee link, and you will be able to see exactly how to enjoy that cross, together with a nice video on YouTube, and of course the cross will be yours. Let's enter the church because it's raining. Before we will enter the church, you can see here the stairs to the 10 station of the Via Dolorosa, and that's where they stripped him from his clothes. Sorry, that's where they had the lot. They choose who will take the clothes of his. And if we are talking about problems, who cleans that yard? The Greek Orthodox cleans that yard, but this is a Catholic chapel. Then what's happened with those stairs? Those stairs are cleaned by the Catholic, but that one is that part of the yard or that part of the church of the Catholic, Via della Rosa station. Then in that case, according to the status quo, once a day the Catholic can clean it, the rest of the day the Greek Orthodox can clean it. I'm not entering now to the Coptic, Ethiopian chapel. I will do that later on, but you can actually see it from here. There are two beautiful churches that leads to the roof of the church. And someone asked me about Mary the Egyptian, a sinner woman who tried to enter to here, but Jesus, in a way, Mary didn't let her enter because of her sins. Then she repented herself. This is the entrance to the chapel of Mary the Egyptian. Look at the clouds. I love rain. I prefer rain. Then let's enter the church. All right, another story. Then another story before we are entering the church. Look at the beautiful entrance of the church. There was another entrance here and another entrance there, and you can hear a tractor noise. It might go out now, but what a tractor is doing in the church? Renovations. Two things I want you to see. There are so many graffitis here. One graffiti is upstairs. Italian graffiti from 1384-89. That shows you that graffiti can be a pollution, but if it's all old, it's history. Another thing that you can see here is the sign of, or the symbol of the cross of the Holy Sepulchre. You can see the Golgotha here. And look at the creek. At the 16th century, the Muslims sold places and ceremonies to the one who will pay them a lot of money. The Armenian decided to buy to be the only one who will get the holy fire from Jesus at the Holy Saturday, at Holy Fire on Saturday, Easter Saturday, Pascha. Then the Greek Orthodox couldn't enter to here. Luckily, miraculously, the holy fire this year went out from here, from that creek. Then in that case, that column became to be a very important one. You can see so many graffitis around it. And you saw the lady that came and kissed it. We talked about a ladder, and soon that ladder won't be here. The question is whose ladder it is. When they signed the agreement of the status quo between the domination themselves, the ladder was here. And then in that case, according to the agreement, the ladder is here, a Catholic one, from Ash Wednesday until Pentecost. And Pentecost is soon, about, let's say, 12 days from now. I'm talking about the Catholic one. Then that ladder, still here. Look how empty that church is, and I know that there's supposed to be a ceremony soon. And how do I know it? The tomb itself is closed. and the candle is next to it. Then you know that I will do my best to stay here until I will figure out which sermon it's going to be. I don't know which sermon it's going to be, but you can see there Yaakov. Here, he already blessed that cross. He knows Betty because his mother's name was Betty. Let's see what's happening there. You can see that they're organized. That was only a small ceremony inside the tomb, and people can now enter the tomb. Then we will continue later on. Last time I didn't enter the tomb because of Easter to bless the cross of you, Betty. But let's start with the Golgotha, the Calvary. Oops, very steep and very empty. We enter through the Catholic part of it, and if you saw the stairs and the chapel from the outside, this is how it looks from the inside. And that used to be another entrance that the Muslims actually blocked. If you will take that covenant out, you will see that it's a door. Another difference that you can see here is the altar. The altar, which is beautiful, used to be of the Medici family from Italy, but it was taken lately when, I don't know, the story tells us that they will bring it back next year. We will see. But they replace it with a beautiful one. You can see the Jerusalem cross on it. And this is the chapel of nailing to the cross, one of the stations of the Via Dolorosa. You can see Jesus. Look at his face. The Roman soldier, the mother, and Mary Magdalene. And next to it, you can see the women and John that were looking at the horrible sin. And as you can see, it was outside the walls of Jerusalem. That represents the Pietà, Mary with a spear in her heart. When she was at that temple, Saint Simon told her, Mary, your son will die in front of your eyes. It will be like a spear entering into your heart. And you can see part of the Golgotha. Difficult to see. This is part of the Catholic chapel, but this is already part of the Greek Orthodox chapel of the Crucifixion. Let me enter to the exact spot of the Crucifixion, because last time I couldn't. And through putting your hand here, you can touch the bedrock of the Golgotha. Sorry about the noise. The noise is about the renovation. I don't know if you noticed the flowers. Red and white, blood and water. Beautiful. It's a beautiful chapel, I must say. Look at the icons, painting of the last week of Jesus. For example, Jesus' kiss. And Garden of Gethsemane. Let's say goodbye to the Crucifixion area. Looks like that's going to be the next part of the renovation. As you can see, they already renovated. They actually took out the pavement here and they excavate. I do some videos of what's happening there, but they didn't publish anything. And it looks like they are going to deal with it. Before they are going to do that, before you're going to close it, I want you to see two chapels. Oops. That was a surprise. You can see the bedrock of the Golgotha. And Adam Chapel. This is another part of the Golgotha, the Calvary. Golgotha, Aramite, Hebrew, the skull. And according to tradition, this was the tomb of Adam. And when Jesus died, the earth shook and the drops of holy blood went all the way to here and resurrected so many people. One of them was Adam, according to the Greek Orthodox tradition. It's not in the Bible. But in that room, you could find an amazing relic of the cross. I must say that I made a mistake. I wanted to surprise Betty with the finding of the cross ceremony that was supposed to be today, but it's going to be next week because they decided, I don't know why, to delay it. If we're talking about that, people ask me from time to time, where were the Crusaders' tombs? Two of them was here, being covered, destroyed by the Greek Orthodox, and some of them were there. And when they excavate, I'm sure that they found some remains of it, but again, as for now, I don't know a thing about it. What those signs? They are measuring it with a digital way. For example, you can see one of the machines here, and we will know soon exactly how big is their church, and we will have a beautiful map of the church according to now. That we already been at the Golgotha. You can see here the Golgotha, which was outside the city. It was outside the city because this is the way of the Romans to tell everyone, look what's happening, usually next to the gate, but outside the gate, because everyone goes in and out. The burial site was at the outside the city, because this is the Jewish rules. You cannot bury people inside the city. Then in that case, the Bible mentioned it, and you can see the walls of the city. I know that there is another option of the tomb of Jesus, the crucifixion of Jesus. It's called the Garden Tomb. And if you will enter, if you look for it at my YouTube channel, you will find it. There are two options, and I don't want to be the one who will tell you which one is the best. Both of them are lovely. I'm taking more videos of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre because it's easier for me to reach. Then, by the Jewish law, before you are buried the dead at the same day, then Joseph of Arimathea and Magdalene that were here, and their gardens next to the crucifixion place was theirs. They decided to give Jesus his own tomb, and they asked Pontius Pilate to get the body of Jesus and to bury it. They purify the body as quick as they can because it was so late, and then they bury him. They put a shroud around him, and you can see here Joseph of Arimathea, Magdalene, John the disciple, the women, and Mary the mother kissing her son. This is such a dramatic moment. It's a new mosaic from 1990. Before that, there was nothing here. You can actually enter to the Catholicon, which I will show you later on. Yeah, they are going to start working with it because I know those kind of lamps. Then you can actually say that you were the last one who saw that path before. It will be totally different. They are renovating all the floor of the church, and you can see that there are so many wooden parts because of it. This stone of the anointing is such an important stone for me. This is the one. Although Mary already blessed it, I'm doing it again. Smell is amazing. We are reaching the Armenian chapel. And from here, the women saw the crucifixion according to the Armenian. The women saw it. You know that if you want me to light a private candle for you, at the description at Buy Me a Coffee, you will be able to do that too. It will include a video that I will prepare for you. Then Armenian, you know that Rubina, I'm always thinking about you when I'm here. Boker Tov. And beautiful tomb is empty. Betty, I will enter to the tomb later on because I cannot enter with the camera. But now you can see how the tomb looks like. You can see the candlelight. And again, sorry about the noise. It's empty, but people are working here now. And this is part of the holy fire from 3 days ago. Is going to fill the lamps with oil. And the inner part, you see that now someone is going out from there. This is the tomb itself. The tomb itself is not old. I will show you soon how the tomb looks like before, but it's been destroyed by earthquakes, by fire of 1808 by Muslims who destroyed it in the 11th century. Then the structure, the adicula, is new. It's been renovated a few years ago, but the location is what is important for us. And remember the wall that I told you of the Katilokon, the cathedral of the Greek Orthodox. This is the wall. The mosaic wall is behind it, and the 1990 they Greek Orthodox sealed it. Could they do that or not? It's between the domination themselves. Same thing here. It's a beautiful place, and what is important for us to see is that small, behind that table map, there's a small round table. This is the center of the world. I must say that a lot of the traditions that used to be of the Jewish temple moved to here. For example, the center of the world, Isaac and Abraham, the sacrifice of Abraham was here according to the Christians. Although it's noisy here, and they closed the door that used to be open on Easter time, Pascha, we are at the 15th station, which is not part of the 14. For me, it's the 15th station. That's where Mary Magdalene, that was standing here, saw Jesus that was standing there on Sunday. Did you see my Lord? She said. I am, but don't touch me. I didn't reach my Father yet. Before we will continue, I want to convince you that that place was the correct might be the correct place of the crucifixion, because we already know that cemeteries, tombs were outside the city, and there are more than 900 like that around the city walls, outside the city walls of Jerusalem, city walls of today. But, and the 2 or 3 main Jewish cemeteries that are still active are outside the walls of the city. Oh, so sorry about the noise. Let me enter to a beautiful chapel to show you what's happening there. See the office of the excavation here. They are the only one who knows exactly what's happening here, and we cannot. Then let's enter beautiful chapel. That no one maintain it. Is that you can see the names of those people. If you know them, then please tell them that what they did here in the church is horrible. But you can tell them that in about 500 years from now, it's going to be history. This is a strange chapel, isn't it? It's strange because no one maintained it, and no one maintained it, although it's the most important church in the world for the Orthodox, for the Armenians, and for the Catholic. And it doesn't look like it. This is a chapel that people are still argue Who owns it? Is it Armenian? Is it Assyrian? Is it Ethiopian chapel? Until they found out who actually holding it, who owns it, it will be like that, and no one maintain it, and that's the reason you can see the graffitis here. Sorry, but we entered here because of it. This is an amazing example for a tomb from the time of Jesus. For that, I need to use the flashlight. Let me enter into it, because now it's empty anyhow. Look how beautiful it is. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like holes. We call it kuchim, chambers. That wall is part of the 4th century church, but the cave was bigger than that. That's how the Jews used to bury people at the ancient time, at Jesus' time. We already know that they buried them at the same day before sunset, because that's the end of the day according to Judaism. And then they blocked it, just like that. This is a very good example for it. What is missing, and it's the rolling stone, or the door that used to be here. Especially against robbers, against wild animals that might enter here. But let's say if there were 9 chambers like that, kuchim, what will happen to the 10th body? There's no place for them. Then they will open the old one. They will take the bones out. They will put it in a small box by the name ossuary, and they will put the box into the storeroom, and that's it. They can bury someone else instead of it. Joseph of Arimathea, who gave Jesus his own tomb, and we know that his garden was next to the crucifixion place, gave Jesus his own tomb that no one used before. And this is so important, because the tomb outside, the tomb of Jesus, was a virgin tomb. But it was exactly like that tomb. By the way, the chapel that you see here is a Coptic chapel. Then he was buried here, according to what we believe. This is the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea and Magdalene. True or not, we don't know. But what is important for us to understand, that this is a tomb from 1st century. It might answer the garden tomb followers that it might be that place, the tomb of Jesus as well. Because it was outside the city at the 1st century. Guys, the city of today is 2,000 years old. It's 3,000 years old, but the city of today is 2,000 after Jesus' time. Then if you look at them and think about your cities and what's happened in your city 2,000 years ago, you can understand it was different. Now the wall that I'm showing you with the holes are the walls from St. Helen Chapel. The holes used to be handle of beautiful marble that covered those walls, those limestones. And here you can see that there were so many holes. It means that that was decorated more beautifully or better than the other part of it, because that was the most important chapel. Then let's go outside to show you a little bit more of it. Now, friends, If you reach 24 minutes, it means that you are the best. And if you never subscribe my channel, this is the time to do that. This is the time to do that because there's no tourist because of the war. Then I'm not working from today, 7 months already. And I'm not sure that I'm going to work for the next months because no one is actually asking me for it. Then if you need a tour guide, my friends, you can. Until then, your job is to subscribe my channel and to send that channel to your friends. You can ask me whatever you want. Try to be polite. And I will answer you everything that I know. Now we are going through the noisy area. Let's cross our fingers that it will be quiet, more quiet. You can see this is the one that they are doing. They are building a wall. Like that, because they are going to, looks like they are going to excavate here as well. I don't know what they're going to do with the stones. Are they going to bring it back, or are they going to replace it? There's so many rumors. When Jesus came to here, he came from the prison of Pontius Pilate, but he came to another prison until he was crucified, and it looks like that. You can see where the legs used to be held. And we'll do it as quickly as we can because it's going to be noisy again. This is his prison, and Mary. You see, now I cannot open it. Betty, I know that you love it, that actually, you love that icon of Jesus. And then I want you to enjoy it again and again and again. There are a few more chapels here. Two of them are Greek Orthodox. One of them is Armenian. This is the Chapel of the Spear. And I think I hear some Armenians talking. Or maybe it's the Italian. No, it's the Italians that renovate that place. They're just like the Israelis they like to shout, not to talk. So remember, it was that part. We saw it from the other side. Look at the stone here. This is where Jesus sat, according to the Greek Orthodox, when he was in his trial and he was beaten. They put the thorn of horn on his body. They forced him to dress kind of a royal dress, kings of the Jews, and Pontius Pilate is actually washing his hands here. We are now heading to the lowest place of the church. There are two chapels here, and we will start with the Armenian one. The Armenians, we already mentioned a few of the Armenians' chapels. The Armenians were the first nation to convert to Christianity as a nation, not as private people. Then they were here at 301. That's why they have a lot of places here, and they have their own quarter in Jerusalem. If we are talking about finding of the cross, then you will see something soon, but that is where the king of Armenia is being baptized by the first bishop that sat in prison, but he was actually later on cured king, and the rest of the people were waiting to convert themselves into Christianity as well. Before we will enter to the lowest place of the church, I want you to see another thing. This is one of the Caesars who brought back the true cross that was taken by the Persians in 1614. Then you can see that in 1629, September 14, 629, he brought it back to here. I came for the finding of the cross, then I didn't find the cross now, I found the air cross. It will be next week. They delayed it. It's usually today, and this is the lowest place in the church. The lowest place in the church means that it's the most ancient part of the church. And because we are alone here, I can talk more loudly, but when St. Helen came to here, she was standing there at the balcony and saw the 3 crosses here. Now, I know that it's a lot of a legend, and I don't know what is true and what's not true, but we know for sure that she came to here and she built that church, she built the Nativity Church, and she built the Aloana Church on top of Mount of Olives. I do have videos of all those churches. Then, although the 4th century, no one mentioned the finding of the cross, in the 5th century they already mentioned it, and according to tradition, when she was standing there, she saw the 3 crosses with the nails, with the titulus, the inscriptions. That one. No, that one like that. Then in that case, Betty and EJ, I'm almost sure that he will send me a message today, because it's so funny. Every time that you are sending me a message, I'm doing something for you. Without actually, you don't know that I'm going to be here today, but you will feel it, because you're connected to Jesus. Then I know that you might send me a message today. Then in that matter, she wanted to know for sure which of the 3 is the true cross. Then she asked an old lady, a sick lady, to come to here, and the cross of Jesus. Oops, sorry. See, something magically happened here. Did you feel it as well? I think I mentioned that I'm not sure what is true or not. Then now I know that it was true. St. Helen was here. She found the 3 crosses. And when the sick woman touched the cross of Jesus, she'd been cured. You can see a beautiful fresco of the Crucifixion. We don't know for sure if it's from the Byzantine time or from the Crusader time. It's been saved because someone blocked it. And after many years later, when they took it out, they found that beautiful fresco. Then you can understand that most of the places was covered with frescoes. John and Mary is here as well. You can see St. Helen and the cross. She gave the cross to Constantinople, to Rome, and 1/3 of it left here. And next week, when I will be here, that's going to be the Independence Day of Israel. think they're going to celebrate 76 of independence. I will try to be here for the ceremony. Meanwhile, I will upload the ceremony of last year. They used that place as a water system as well. You can see the bucket holes. And the plaster on the wall. And for me, this is one of the most important places to convince you that that was outside the city. Why? Because that was King Herod's quarry. And a quarry is always outside the city. After he died, and before the Romans took it, people started to bury bury their dead here because it's very easy to deal with it. Remember, it's a quarry. Let's climb up, please. Sorry about the noise that you're going to hear. I didn't want to use my headset because it actually destroyed the sound of people in the church, but I didn't know that it will be so noisy. That amazing mosaic was built by an Israeli artist. Represents 9 of the cities that have been destroyed by the Turkish of today, when at the time of the genocide of the Armenians in 1915, including Ararat. It used to be part of Armenia, and now it's part of Turkey. I'm going to climb up later on through the Ethiopian chapel, the Ethiopian churches, then remember the dome, because you're going to see the dome from the outside. But then we have to climb it up, and you can see so many graffitis, but those are ancient graffitis. The noise is still on, and the tractor is still in. To see if I can go from there, but we already did. Oh yes, I can. A run tour around the church. Looks like tomorrow that path will be closed for us. Then let's climb up to the Ethiopian church. And now it's sunny. It started with a rain, and now it's completely sunny and beautiful. As I remember, this column, and there's another one here, is from the 4th century church. There's another one next to the Ethiopian monk, to the left of it, on the ground, part of the stairs. Now, before we will enter to the Ethiopian part, let me tell you that the Ethiopians are a creation of Queen Sheba and King Solomon, and the first son became to be the king. He came to here, he got the Ark of the Covenant from his father, King Solomon, which according to them is at the city of Aksum. There are 2 churches here, and there are a lot of problems between them and the Coptic Egyptian about who owns what, and they cannot renovate it because they must get permission from the Coptic, and they won't let them. You will see that the church is divided into 2. The part that close to us is for the disciples. The inner part is for the high priest, and it's actually kind of a copy or replica of the church of the the Jewish temple. At the second one, not that one, the other one, you will see a painting of Queen Sheba visiting King Solomon. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Father.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, there's gonna be a ceremony. Good morning. Oh, was a ceremony. At the Egyptian part of the church, you saw a Syrian monk. Yeah, it looks like the end of it. Then this part belongs to the Ethiopians. Used to be owned by the Coptic, but I'm not going into that politics. We do have politics in Israel. It's very complicated for me, but I think you can recognize that dome. We saw it from the outside. The tent here and the stage here is from the Pascha, from Easter, that ended 2 days ago. Look at the village of the monks there. I do a video of that as well. Listen to the birds. And if we're talking about that, this is the Coptic church. This is part of, it used to be part of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and I really want to be there. Until now I didn't. They didn't let me enter. Then if you do have a connection, please tell them to let me go in. I want to prepare a video for you about that beautiful place. I saw pictures of it, but pictures is not enough for me. Then we are going out from the Ethiopian part that used to be, used to be part of the Crusader dining room. I think at least the Germans part. And welcome to Egypt.
طب يلا يا بابا احنا اتأخرنا خالص. قول له احنا اتأخرنا.
Oops.
مش تقصد بس رن عليه قول له اتأخرنا.
I didn't know. I couldn't say happy Pascha because you were busy. He was busy. And happy Pascha. Beautiful people. What can I say? Beautiful people. And this is the most important thing that I wanted to know. Leave the politics out. And then you will enjoy an amazing relationship between everyone. I want to show you how big the church used to be, look like. And this is the 9th station of the cross where Jesus fell for the third time. And if you saw Yaakov, remember the guy that looked like Jesus at the beginning of the video? This is his bedroom. It's a long video, but I have nothing else to do, my friends. I'm not working. If you reach 45 minutes, please send me a message. I want to know who are the best of my friends here. It's Sunday. It's already hot, but that used to be the church, the 4th century. And not today. Today it belongs to the Egyptian. It's a private place, and it used to be a mosque before, but that's it. Soon we will say goodbye, but I want you to see the entrance of the St. Helen Church. Many years ago, I used to enter to that bakery, and I could show you the stairs, but sadly at that time I didn't take videos. Oh, before we say goodbye, before I show you the entrance, this is the border between. We are at the Christian quarter. This is the Muslim quarter, and the White Dome of the Jewish quarter. I was so busy. We were so busy. Here it is. That was the main street at the 4th century. It's called the Cardo, the heart of the city. And the entrance to the church was from here. This is the entrance of the 4th century Holy Sepulchre Resurrection Church. Thank you for being with me, and see you in my next video. And don't forget, write something about about your, oh, look at that. About your, let's follow him a little bit. This is great. All right, thank you very much for being with me at that beautiful video. Bye-bye.